Okay, good day everyone. Today I'm going to present about hydraulic bench. So what is hydraulic bench? So hydraulic bench is a volumetric type and has been designed to provide a continuous and a controlled supply of water to conduct a various experiment using auxiliary modules and a typical fluid mechanics in its hydraulic laboratory. It is a self-contained water supply device that is used for circulating water from the sump tank into the different hydraulic devices. So basically, it's a centrifugal pumps that moves the water from the sump tank through the water hose to the water inlet and then to the experimental apparatus. So, what are the key objectives of the operational procedure? First is to measure the volume flow rate of the water at the supply of the basic hydraulic bench. So, mo dyan ang main objective to measure the volume flow rate of the water supply of the water. And then second is to determine the relation between the flow rate and the pressure of the fluid flow, ang relation sa duha ka variable. And then lastly is to test the hydraulic bench capabilities. So what is the main function and the practical application of this hydraulic bench? So this hydraulic bench is a basic unit in which provides a water supply in the volumetric measures that is used for any conjunctions with the accessory of the specific experiment. So matang yung ganina nga using the water inlet iyan nang i-transport ang water to the experimental apparatus kay they're going to use that water, that desired level of water, the desired volume of water sa ilang certain experiment. So, muna main application or the practical application of this bench, hydraulic bench. So, we need to understand fully the different, we need to know the different parts of this hydraulic bench. So, first, we need to take a look on the top view. So, we can see there the tapping gauge. So, dili nga part, makita nato ang tapping gauge. Diya makita ang water inigawa sa water unja. Then let's go to the side view. So for the side view, we can see there the sump tank. So ang sump tank diha mag-store ang water. Then mo i-store ang water that you're going to use for the whole operation. And then you're going to use the pump in which the pump draws the water from the sump tank and then iyan nang i-release ang water to the supply valves. If you're going to turn on the supply valves, iyan ang muhatag og kumbaga i-go signal to let your water move forward paato na sa ibabaw. Then this is the pump switch. You're going to turn on the pump switch para mo-work ang imong bench. And then beside this, beside aning switch is the volume gauge. Dili makita nimo ang small movement or ang measurement sa flow rate sa water. And then diri ang water later inigawas diha unja sa water, ang flow da ang water diri sa volumetric gauge. And then this is the dump valve remote actuator. So this is a dump valve. So nasa dyan remote actuator kani mo na remote actuator. If you're going to lift that up, masaka ning dump valve and then ibutan ni mo na mobos siya. And then the purpose of this one is to avoid the water from draining. So para di siya mabalik sa sump tank, you need to drop this dump valve down. So using the remote actuator. So we have here the stealing baffle. So kani mo ng stealing baffle. So the stealing baffle is used to decrease the turbulence. Kaya nag-release the water from the open channel, kusog ka ng turbulence nga but para ma-lower down mo, ma-decrease mo ang turbulence sa water, you need to use this stealing baffle. So na jag basta rectangle na jag triangle na jag forma, triangular shape. Then this is the desired water level. This is the desired water level sa sump tank. So kanila yung desired water level sa sump tank. Then let's go to the front view. For the front view of this bench, you can see here the water inlet. So diri ang water. So nagsaka din sa water sa pump no, nagsaka sa water dira moagi na siya sa diri mapadong na siya sa water inlet. So ang water inlet dira na siya butangan nimo ang katong mga water conduits like a volumetric the venturimeter katong like ang water hose para dahil siya kumbaga gamiton to transmit the water to the experimental apparatus. Then this is the weir plate and then the overflow of the volumetric tank. So dira mo flow rate ang water ining gawas na siya sa inlet. So this is the drain valve. If you're going to drain your water na if sobraan ang gamit sa water, kaya ang water na diri nga pa diri sa bench is mag-cycle na ang water nga na mag-circulate na ang water. If ma-reach na nimo ang desired level sa water, then imo na diyang i-balik sa sump tank. But if hugaw na ang water, you can drain the water using the drain valve. So let's move on so those are the different parts of the hydraulic bench. So in conducting the operation, there are different procedures that we're going to follow. So we have here the safety precautions, the pre-experimental procedures, and the operating procedures. So for the safety precautions, so before ka mo conduct operation, mo ni i-follow sila. Yung dapat mo ni i-follow. So you need to ensure the sump tank is filled up. So dapat na-jusud ang sump tank na 3/4 ang ijang level na 3/4 para to avoid dry running lagi. So you need to ensure that the flow control valve is and the bypass valve are fully open. So dapat imo na diyang ensure na fully open ang duha, okay? This will cause nga maguba ang imong bench. Then check the water level of the sump tank. So i-check nimo always kay if maka-observe gani kada nga way mo saka nga water dito sa voltmeter, if mudagan siya pero why sud nga water, meaning empty nang imong sump tank, and you need to switch off the pump para mo-avoid ang pag-continue sa main tabo kay it will cause na maguba pa ng imong bench ingana. So always observe the pressure gauge and then ensure that there is no longer leakage sa bench kay below sa katong volumetric gauge taka na mga different joints of the pipe. So you need to ensure that there is no leakage para smooth ang dagan sa imong operation. So after having the safety precaution, you can now have your pre-experiment procedure. So in doing the pre-experiment procedure, you need to first read the safety instructions given. So basahan nimo tarong samto nimo, then understand the different theory and flow measurements. So you need to understand how does this a unit work. So imong sabton na ang flow rates, ang flow measurement sa kaninga operation. Then make sure that the apparatus are in good condition. So all parts of the bench should be in good condition before doing the operation. And then connect the water hose between the water supply and the inlet port. So if okay na tanan, in good condition na, before nimo i-switch on, you need to connect the water hose dito sa water supply to the inlet of the port. Then open the water supply and fill up the tank. And then afterwards, connect the hose from the hydraulic bench outlet to the apparatus inlets. If maset up na tanan, makonect na nimo ang katong water hose sa water inlet to the water outlet to the apparatus inlet, then you can now officially start your operation. So in doing the operation, you can now again ensure that the flow control valve and the bypass valve are fully open. So dapat imo na pong i-check gusto before conducting the operation, the operating procedure. You need to ensure again that these two are fully open na. Then turn on the main switch para mag-start na ka. You need to turn on the main switch. Then after, you need to plug the water channel to the stopper and then record. So circulate na sa water, you need to use the stopwatch to record the time and the total volume flow accumulated in the channel. So imo nang i-record ang time, corresponding times ini. So dapat every level manage corresponding mga seconds. So you're going to record that and have that time using the stopwatch. So after those procedure, we need first to I want you to have a short review or short background on how does this branch really work. So pagkatapos mo demonstration, not our demonstration, it's from the internet, for you to clearly understand and maka-visualize jud mo kung sa forma and how does this bench work. So mo ang forma sa hydraulic bench, this one. So mo na diri ang katong volumetric gauge or ang volumetric tank. Dila magawas ang pundo ang water. So diha ang power button. Beside is katong sign tube on the scale kung asa mag-indicate na ang water level sa fluid nga makuha. Then the flow control valve diha imo ma-regulate imong kami makabuot sa imong good sa flow sa water. Then this is a sump tank, diha mag-store ang water. This is the pump. So when you're going to draw na din ang water, ang pump sa water, mapalo na siya sa supply valve, then going to the open channel. So if you're going to turn on the supply valve, mo enter na siya going to the open channel. Okay, mo na ang open channel. So to avoid that from spill na siya, you need to cover that one para di na mag-wisik-wisik. Using that and that sa may cover. So diri, mo nang gingon ganina, the pump discharge into the open drain. So sa water nga naman ni forma sa tubig di ba flow. And to lower the turbulence, kana kusog ang turbulence, you need to use the atong stealing baffle. So see on the other side, hinay na ang turbulence kay nagaat taong stealing baffle. So you need to use the stealing baffle jud para ma-lower ang turbulence. So muna ang forma sa imong flow sa water, inig masagap na tanan. Until ma-reach nimo ang desired na volume. So this is the formula in finding the discharge, the change in volume over time. So ato lang 8 per second. So mo yung part mo ni ang yung kanina katong dump valve remote actuator. So diyan mo na i-lift tira. So katong dump valve sa ilaw na-lift na. So ma-drain na ang water. But this one, na-drain na niya kaya naman dyan capacity ra, which is 46 liters ang capacity sa kanina tank. So, same run, like what I said, may circulation na doon sa ang water. If you're going to let that drain, bumalik sa sump tank, then circulate na po, balik-balik lang, until fugaw na, you can drain that using the drain valve. Okay, so kita naman task unsay forma jud sa flow sa water. Let's assume nga we have taken data from that operation. So for us to analyze jud kung sa about ni siya, how to kung makabaw jud ta kung sa pagkuasa ka ng the discharge water, ang volume sa flow rate para atong ma-hit ang objective media, we need to know how to perform the calculation and in finding the volume flow rate. So we need to have the raw data. So say for example mo na mga raw data ang atong ikuha ganina. So we have here 3 ka-run. So for you to differentiate and to have the average flow rate, volume flow rate, dapat makuha ka o dili ra usa ka run. 3 to 4 run is better. So we have conducted 3 run. We have 5, 7, and 10 liters ang level sa water. So nasa layo sa lain nga time in accumulating sa pag-reach na ang level. So for this table, this is a 1.6 pressure bar, discharge pressure bar, and below is a 1.8 discharge pressure bar. And as you can observe, lahi ang oras sa each bar. So mas taas ang oras nga na-reach, mas dugay naka-reach sa kanong level with under sa 1.8 discharge pressure bar. And remember nga dito mo exceed sa 2.0 pressure bar mo ng 1.8 lang taman. So remember this data for us to continue or have our computation. So using this formula, the volume flow rate is equal to the water level over the time per second. So first we're going to compute the discharge pressure of the 1.6 bar. So having this using this data parang statistician, then after having the volume flow rate of each run, you need to find the average rate. So if imo rang i-add ang tulo ka volume flow rate sa each run, then divide by 3, then we have 0.00021173 meter cube per second for the discharge pressure of 1.6 bar. Then do the same process sa discharge pressure of the 1.8 bar. Then we have the 0.0001558 meter cube per second. So these are the ang average flow rate sa each discharge pressure for different bar. So after those computation, dapat maka-conclude man ta. So before having a conclusion, we need to analyze first the data. So analyzing the data, we need to have our graph. So as you can observe here, ang graph sa duha ka different bar pressure, which is the 1.6 and 1.8, is a linear graph, meaning there is a direct relationship between the two variable, and we can see here sa graphs in sa front that the volume increases linearly as the time increases. So mo na ginasilay direct relationship ang duha ka variable. So if padugay man nimo ang time, mataas pa jud ni ang volume of water nga iyang ma-accumulate. So by that, we can conclude that the volume of the flow rate of the water supplied was successfully obtained using the basic hydraulic bench. And then we can conclude from that graph, or from that data, that the relationship of the flow rate and the pressure of the fluid flow can be stated that the higher the pressure of the fluid flow, the lower the volume flow rate. So mo na makonclude ha, the higher the pressure of the fluid flow, the lower the volume flow rate. So this whole concept of the hydraulic bench is very useful sa ating day-to-day nga activities. So we can relate these concepts at day-to-day nga activities. So for example, sa faucet. So in using the faucet, we could use the concept of the hydraulic bench para atong makuan atong consumption. And then also sa atong parts, engineering field, sa civil engineering field, we can use this one sa casting flow rate. So I won't discuss further na this one, okay? It's very mataas na ang discussion. So it's been stated there sa among lab report. You can read that one there if para maka-explain, para makasabot mo how does this hydraulic bench relatable sa atong field sa civil engineering. So I hope you have understand some things sa kanang presentation, and hoping that sooner makakahikap ta nga niyan para makasabot yun ta further on how does this hydraulic bench work jud in for real na atong hikapan na every parts, and then kita na mo mo control sa iyang dagan. So thank you everyone for listening, and good day.